It's August 28th and I am on my way to Kaslo Lake. It's 1 in the afternoon and it's overcast, but there's no smoke, so I'm happy about that. I haven't done this trail since I was 20 years old, so I'm really excited to be going and doing this. It finally cleared up. We got a good rain the other day, so all the smoke has dissipated. So I get to have one last hike, or one hike in August. So yay. This is Kokanee Lake. It took me 2.5 hours to get here with a 30-pound pack on, but at least I got here. Very proud of myself. So the topic of conversation for this trip is going to be a sore spot for some of you, but I have to speak my mind. There's not too many things that I hate, but this is one of them. So, but anyway, let's enjoy the trail first. This is just so pretty. I love it. This looks like a good spot to have a sandwich. A very good spot. Yes, I brought chocolate cake with me on the trail. It's a vegan chocolate cake with zucchini and chickpeas and mashed potatoes, and I made it. And it's a big hit whenever I make it for potlucks or church functions. People love it. Yum. It's a little mashed, but it's still delicious. This is my type of hiking now. Oh, it's beautiful here. I love it. Lots of great sitting places in this section, but who wants to sit now? It's nice hiking in this cooler weather with no rain, but ooh, I'm dreading tonight. I hope it's not too cold. I have to tell some stories. I had this one patient that I came on shift and he was standing buck naked in his cubicle. I work in the emergency room, and oh, the joys, the things I see. And he was totally soused, totally drunk, standing there. He's 25 years old, not a care in the world, showing me everything. Really, what a start to my shift. And then I had another guy, totally unresponsive from alcohol, just snoring away on the gurney. And he peed the gurney. Like urine was flowing off the, all down by him, down on the floor, down through the mattresses, and he didn't have a clue. And just so disgusting. People have no idea. And then when I was working in a small town in Idaho, I had this one guy show up at the back door of the emergency room, the ambulance door. His buddies dropped him off and fled. And he was wearing only one shoe, and he was burnt from head to toe. He was drinking with his friends, and they decided to light a match to a gasoline barrel or something, and it exploded and took off all his clothes. Honestly, the things I've seen, thankfully he made it, but still. Some friends brought a mother of 5 children, and they were supporting her, and she was staggering into the emergency room. She was so drunk. And that is just the most heartbreaking thing for me, is when children have to see their parents drunk. I took care of a 36-year-old girl. She doesn't live in the same town as her mom, and she doesn't know anybody in this certain town that I worked in. And her mom was worried because she wasn't hearing from her, so she called the RCMP, and they finally found her and brought her in to us. She had a big black eye, alcohol level off the charts, and once she sobered up a bit, she wouldn't stay. She started trembling and wanted to leave. She said she had some Valium at her house. So how sad, how absolutely heart-wrenching it is to see these people and see them walk out and know that their life is going to be done soon, and so young. Alcohol is a destroyer. So can you guess what my hate is, what my topic of disdain is? We get both men and women in with humongous bellies that need to be drained, like 4 liters, 5 liters of fluid get drained because of ascites, because of cirrhosis of the liver, because of alcoholism. So sad. And they're not even that old sometimes. People just don't care. Addiction is terrible. I've seen plenty of car accidents where people were drinking and caused the accidents, caused fatalities. And when alcohol people vomit, it's the most disgusting smell you have ever smelled in your life. And yeah, being a nurse, I get to clean them up and smell the smell. I had one guy come in, he was covered from head to toe in blood, just pouring out of him. He got into a fight with his brother, and they were both intoxicated. Yeah, alcohol's really, really fun, isn't it? I know of little children that have had to dress their mother because she was too drunk to dress them, but they had to dress her, and they had to get themselves to school. Just no adult influence in their life at all. So tragic. I've taken to asking pretty much every patient that comes through the ER if they drink alcohol. And I would guess that 85% of the people that present to the ER drink alcohol. I think that's so sad. Our ER would be a lot less busy if people did not drink alcohol, I can tell you that much. This is looking really pretty. I love it. You can see those big mountains in the distance. I love people that make trails. I just appreciate it so much. Just so nice to know where you're going. No guesswork. Thank you, trail maintenance crew. Oh, so this is Kokanee Pass. Yay, I made it over a pass. Woohoo. I just love the alpine country. Just my favorite of all. To be high in the mountains, have spectacular views, and all the different plants that there are. So wonderful. Look at this prime bear country. I don't think I have to worry about bears though, because, well, the huckleberries aren't really here right now in this section, and the kokanee are spawning. So hopefully they're all down at the creek trying to catch their salmon for the winter. That's my theory. And I'll be sure and show you a picture of the salmon spawning after this trip is done at the end of this trail. I just love all these little streams on this trail. So great. And these skookum bridges for us. Good job. Oh, good. I made it. Let's go find a camping spot. The campground has a skookum kitchen shelter where we can eat in. It's advised to eat in here, not by your camp, of course. This one looks like the one. I am ready to drop my pack. It's close enough to the lake to be really pretty. I'm excited. There's just something so satisfying about setting up a tent after a long day of hiking. My home sweet home. Well, it's about 20 to 8 and it's getting pretty dark. So I guess I'll go to bed now. Or at least go in my tent now. There's one other camper people here, but they're way on the other side of the lake from me. So that's good. Yay! I got blue skies this morning. I'm so excited. Well, it's 8 o'clock in the morning and I am on the road again. I slept maybe an hour last night. Oh man. I used one of my water canteens as a hot water bottle, so that helped. I didn't sleep because I was cold really. Just could not sleep. And I wasn't scared either. And it wasn't windy. I think it was that chocolate cake I ate. Oh boy, that'll teach me a lesson. Anyway, I'm so glad it's sunny today and off for a new adventure. All right, here's Slocan Chief Cabin. I stayed in this, some church friends brought me here on a hike when I was 20, and we all camped in here. It was pretty interesting, but I'd rather sleep in a tent by myself. But it's a cool old cabin. Wow, it looks like they don't sleep in here anymore. It's more of a, well, I guess it's a visitor center. Cool. I got to stay in this up in the loft up there. Oh, the bears saved me some huckleberries. Yay. I love huckleberries. There's a good patch here. They are 100 times better than blueberries. They're so sweet. My favorite. Does that look like a bear scratching post or what? I would bet it is. You can see the trail down there where I came. It's worth it to do all this hiking just to get to the top. So there's Kokanee Glacier in all her glory, and you can see her from Nelson. But now can you guess why I am talking about alcohol? Because I'm ashamed to say that my hometown produces Kokanee beer, and the glacier is their symbol on their can. And so that's why I felt like I needed to talk about alcohol on this trip. Sadly and unbelievably, for my little town of about 5,500 people, we have 3 liquor stores and 1 brewery. How on earth did we rate? That's why I have to speak up. My time to party, my type of parties, you don't need to find a designated driver, and you don't have to worry about harming someone with the beverage of choice that I drink. It's nice to know that people are safe when I drink my orange juice. And yeah. Forgive me if I am too graphic with my stories, but it is the life of an ER nurse. And I just want to share with you one more story. Behind one of the curtains, this couple was just going at it. He was on top of her, and yeah, they were having some lovemaking going on. A real emergency, I can tell you that, if they're able to do that in the ER. But they were both inebriated. People in their right mind would not be doing that, I don't think. So, yeah, I just am not fond of alcohol at all. Sure, there's a study out that says that wine is good for you, a glass of wine. But my first question is, who sponsored that study, for one? And yeah, it's the wine growers that did. So how convenient is that? And it may raise your HDL, which is your good cholesterol, but it lowers your, it increases your triglycerides also, and decreases your fibrinogen. And alcohol, consuming alcohol, is linked directly to breast cancer and colon cancer, among other cancers. And of course, cardiovascular disease, diabetes. And I would bet my bottom dollar that it plays a role in dementia as well. So who wants to get all these diseases just so they can raise their HDL? There's other ways to raise your HDL. How about exercise? and eating non-meat products will do it. Lots of fruit and vegetables. Yeah, so don't give me that you need a glass of wine a day. It's hogwash. And just this week, actually, CNN published a report about a 2-year worldwide study of how it has been determined that no amount of alcohol is beneficial to a person. So that's just hot off the press this week, but that's something I knew already. But at least it's in writing now. People complain about the price of gasoline, but they're willing to pay 30 times as much for 1 liter of wine. How does that figure? You can spend your money on that? Oh, talk about expensive enjoyment. If you're a Christian and watching this, I can just hear you saying, "But Leanne, Jesus' first miracle was turning water into wine." Well, the translators of the Bible, it is actually fruit of the vine. So they just chose to say wine, but it could be grape juice. And you cannot convince me that Jesus would perform a miracle creating some mind-altering drinks. There's no way. Fresh grape juice is the best. Any wedding would love to have fresh grape juice at their wedding.
The ancients viewed wine as the product of the grapevine. Its intoxicating power was not the absolute defining feature. Wine could be intoxicating, but it could also be, and very often was, non-intoxicating. It was often used diluted in water because the water tasted so bad, it made it potable. Distilling alcohol did not develop until AD 500. The strongest alcoholic beverages people could make in Bible times contained 14% alcohol by volume, approximately the maximum produced by natural fermentation. So with this fact, strong drink in Bible times does not equal our hard liquor presently. The Bible only produces 3 texts about wine that can produce a state of levity, which is certainly a valid physiological observation, and they use it to draw some favorable comparisons in figures of speech, such as in Song of Solomon, "The roof of your mouth like the best wine, and your love is better than wine." But there are some unfavorable comparisons, like the wine of the wrath of God. Satan goes around like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour, and you lose your inhibitions when drinking, so when your mind is weak, he will get you. If you are plagued with depression, it often leads to alcohol, which leads to more depression, which leads to more alcohol. It is a vicious, vicious circle. If alcohol destroys interpersonal relationships, it seems only reasonable that it will have a negative bearing on a divine relationship.
up. It's raining now. Getting soaked. Oh well. At least I'm on the homeward stretch and I don't have to camp in the rain. That worked out real well. I got rained on for about an hour. I'm good and wet. I didn't want to put a jacket on though. Too much effort. Getting this pack on and off is a major. Anyway, the sun is shining now. I'm so happy. If you drink alcohol, I have a challenge for you. Try going 1 month without drinking and see how you feel. And if you can do a month, then why not forever? And just think about how much money you'll save and how rich you'll be. And if you can't go 1 month, then I would recommend going to AA. They can really help you out. It's a good program. It just breaks my heart that people drink alcohol and have to drown their sorrows that way. So if I could have helped at least just one person with this hike, I will have been so happy. If your life has been affected by alcohol, I would love for you to write to me. You can email me or send a physical. I have a physical address as well that you can send a letter to, and I will respond. And even if you're watching this 5 years from now, I would love to hear from you. My life, thankfully, my parents were not into alcohol. I'm so grateful for that. And other than my work, of course, being exposed to that, but indirectly, my parents adopted a son. They thought after having me, my mom didn't think she could have any more kids, so she adopted somebody to be my playmate for me, but then another brother came along. But anyway, my adopted brother, he had fetal alcohol syndrome, and the poor guy, all the health problems that he has had because of that. So my life was affected by alcohol indirectly. I mean, not like his, but my heart just goes out to people that have been exposed to family members that drink, that are alcoholics. And yeah, if you need a shoulder to cry on or to vent to, please write to me. And now, as promised, here are the Kokanee salmon spawning. And you got some ducks as bonus footage. First off, if you've watched me, hung in there and watched me to the end, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me bare my soul. And stay tuned for my next epic adventure. If all goes well, it's going to be a really good one. So until then, assalamu alaikum, shalom, peace.